Well, as we've been saying for, maybe over a year, we've been studying working with anger at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane at our Monday night Buddhist meditation class. And last night's class, so this is where we are in the book. 17 chapters before we get to helping others subdue their anger. My guess is most of us have picked up this book with the intent to help others subdue their anger. But it took 17 chapters to get there as we worked at our own. But there was a lovely story in here that I wanted to share about that and my own experience of living in community. Venerable Children writes, I'll summarize it a little bit, that Miriam, I guess she didn't change the name because she said Miriam now in her 80s, who has since passed on, but told her a story that was very moving for Venerable Children. At the ages of 3 and 6, Miriam had made a child's short-lived attempt to run away from home when she was unhappy with her parents. At age 9, she was again mad at them and wanted to leave. But she had learned something from her previous trips. So she knew that she needed provisions this time. Right? So she went to the kitchen and she said to her mother, "I want an apple, a banana, and a sandwich." And her mother asked, "Why?" And Miriam retorted, "I'm going to run away from home." "Oh, don't do that," her mother replied gently. "I love you and will miss you terribly." At which point Miriam began to cry, rushed to her mother, and was embraced lovingly. And then Venerable's final paragraph is, how many of us get angry when we are really trying to say, "Please love me"? And how many of us miss others' pleas for kindness because we react to their outer hostility? And the story instantly reminded me of a time when I, too, was like uncontrollably angry. I was out of control. I was really intolerable. I confess it. I admit it. And I was very hard to deal with. It went on for some days, I think, maybe longer. And mostly nobody wanted to deal with me, and I don't blame them. But one person in the community came to me during that time and just sat down and she said, "You know, you seem really upset. Are you okay? How are you?" And I could unload a little bit, and that was the end of it. You know, she wasn't over solicitous. She didn't decide, "Oh, let me go help you and fix it." But that this person came and sat on the bed and said, "Wow, you seem really upset." It's unforgettable to me. So my appreciation for that person, and then also my appreciation then when I see this happen in the community. From time to time, when somebody is really over the edge, someone has the wherewithal, and it's always different someone's, has the wherewithal to be able to go to that person who is struggling and say, "Wow, you seem like you're really having a hard time. Can I support, or can I help, or I recognize it, just even I see it, and I care about you," is enough. As we talked more about this last night, I didn't tell my personal story, but it's so true in community. Like when somebody is mad at me, it is a lot harder to want to care for them. I have to do a little processing. But we still can. The more we learn these skills with how to work with our own anger, we can step away and soothe ourselves, calm our own minds, think about, okay, this person is suffering. This person is really suffering. Just like me, this person doesn't want to suffer. Just like me, actually, what they want is to be happy. I know how that feels. So that helps us kind of settle out, and then to be able to take the next step and say, "I care." We don't have to talk about it right now. We don't need to process it right now, but I do care that you are feeling unhappy and disturbed. And perhaps we can share in some point a way to make this better. The great advantage we have of living in community is it doesn't necessarily have to be the person who's in direct line of the angry person. Someone who's not engaged, who's not plugged in, but has the wherewithal to care, at that moment can later or in that time just reach out and offer our caring to one another. So, as I said, I see this happen. I know that we do it. But when I read the story, I thought, oh, I want to make this explicit, because it is my observation that this does indeed occur. And when we are explicit about it as a way of caring for one another as community members, not just because we, on the surface level of wanting to have a smoother, more peaceful environment, which is nice, and not even just on the personal caring level, but actually realizing that when our anger flares up, A, the person who's experiencing that is out of control at that moment, their affliction has overcome their mind, and B, they're creating negative karma. So that as practitioners, we go to a deeper level. It's not just not just that I care about you as a person and I hope that you would have a peaceful mind, but I care about the karma you're creating. As practitioners, this is what we can do to support one another, to really ensure or help to support, at least. We can't ensure anything, but to help support each other to create virtue and to overcome our afflictions. So we could even bring to mind, okay, I'm really angry. I need a sandwich, a banana, and an apple, as our way of expressing what I really need is to be loved. What I really need is somebody to care. I really need someone to care that I hurt at this moment, and here's why. That's really all I wanted to say today, to bring that forward and to thank Miriam. May she have great fortune to meet the Dharma wherever she is, and thank her for continuing to teach us.